Hey guys, it's me. It's Molly Sheepless Needles Ringwald. It's 1984. Hey, it is Sheepless Needles. This is a vegan podcast that's not about being vegan. So pull up a chair, grab a project. What are you knitting on? Or, what are you doing? What are you crafting? You just grab it, pull up a chair, grab a beverage, and let's just get at it. So, Shannon, why are we in the year 1984? Oh, well, new viewer and/or kind returning viewer, thank you to both of you. It is 1984 because it is time for the totally tubular knit along. 1980s inspired pattern, don't care what it is, get it on your crafting hooks, your needles, your paintbrushes, whatever it is. We're making it the 80s. We're doing it for 4 to 8 weeks. It can be something you wear. It can be something for your house. It does not matter. It needs to be inspired. 1984. Let's paint a picture. Well, first of all, you guys, this is my Molly Ringwald look, and I will have Steve put up a photo here that was the inspiration for this. And I'm going to try to recreate it, but this is weird with a mirror image, but it's like this weird photo where she's like, how did I do? Leave it in the notes. Okay, so anyway, 1984, a lot of things happen. Let's just talk about a couple highlights that we can kind of just reminisce about. And if you weren't there for the 80s, then you can be like, oh, I didn't know that happened. That I hear old people talk about that all the time. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. All right, so 1984, movies. Hello, John Hughes, all over the 80s. But in this particular case, in 84, it would have been 16 Candles with the wonderful Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall, a host of other people. Yeah, 16 Candles. The family forgets a 16-year-old's birthday because her older sister, who's a disaster, is getting married to another disaster, and hijinks ensue. Teenage girl, kind of forgotten about, kind of a misfit, but in the end, everything works out. Okay, so 16 Candles came out, Ghostbusters came out. Oh, purple rain, purple rain. Oh God, Steve edit that. Yeah, Prince's Purple Rain came out. Come on, you cannot even argue with that. The very first MTV Video Awards were that year. And this was actually back when MTV played videos of music by artists. And they even had these things called VJs who played and curated said music videos. Yeah. And in that awards, it was a big shakeup because the Cars, you might think, which incidentally is one of my least favorite Cars song ever, won the award against, I'm just saying, hello, Thriller, Michael Jackson, Vincent Price. How does anybody beat that? I'm sorry. That was travesty, but we can't go backwards. So anyway, first MTV Music Awards were ushering in a new era of music video playing that would only last for a few years. And then they found reality television and we never saw another music video again. But it was really funny, I will say. When MTV came out and was popular in the early 80s, there was like a run of videos that they would just play on repeat. And I remember Hungry Like the Wolf. I remember Photograph by Def Leppard. Hungry Like the Wolf was Duran Duran. Sorry, I should have said that. Video Killed the Radio Star, and I can't remember who even did that song. There was a Bananarama song. Yeah, there were some songs that they just played continually on repeat, and you just couldn't get away from them. So you better hope you liked the song. And there were some that I really didn't like. There was a Paul Simon song that drove me nuts that they would play. Anyway, so that was the MTV thing. What else happened in 84? Let's think about this. Oh. First female candidate on the presidential ballot. It was Geraldine Ferraro running for Vice with Walter Mondale. And they were running against, if you know the 80s, you know who won. It would have been Reagan. Ushering in probably one of the worst political decades I can think of. Yeah. However, as a result of the Reagan era, we did get a lot of great anti-establishment movement, a lot of great music, and a lot of great art was created then. So we do have Reagan to thank for that, beyond trickle-down friggin' economics. But whatever. This isn't a political argument. This is 1984. We're supposed to be light and happy. Damn it. What else happened in 84? The space shuttle, was it Discovery? Made its very first voyage around the wonderful planet that we're spinning on. That's pretty exciting. NASA was doing some really cool things. So yay science and science in space and all of that good stuff. I do believe 1984 was also when scientists identified the HIV virus. For a very long time, no one knew what caused someone to go into full-blown AIDS. It was a progressive disease, I guess is what I would say at that point, that they didn't really understand the cause of it. It got blamed on a lot of things erroneously. There was a lot of fear mongering. So when they were able to identify HIV, that was a huge step forward, because obviously when you can identify the virus, then you can start figuring out how to attack the virus itself. So anyway, human immunodeficiency virus was discovered. I think that's a huge step forward in medical science for so many reasons. That happened in 84. What else happened in 84? You guys, there was a lot. I feel like movie-wise, we covered that. Music. Hang on, I do have a cheat sheet that I can't even see. Okay, so I'm going to put my specs on, and it's going to take us right out of 84. So just act like I'm not wearing them. Guys, I'm pretty good. Oh. I missed a couple biggies. There were really weird commercials in the 80s, but the big one that always drove me crazy that you would hear on repeat was this little old lady for Wendy's. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Hike it on out of here, lady. Okay, Tetris came out. Now, the gamer in me is going to tell you, I love Tetris, but I actually started gaming on an Atari. Back in the day, I played Tank, I played Kaboom.
So you think you're fast enough to beat the bomber? I don't think so.
Kaboom! By Activision.
I played Pong, okay, that was a thing. I don't want to hear it. All you modern gamers who are like, what is this? 2 lines and a... Listen, you make do with what you have. And I did. And look what happened to me, Elden Ring. Jeez. Okay, so the other thing that was going on in the 80s that's kind of relevant to me as a gamer was the Satanic Panic. And I know you've probably heard people talk about it before, but I'm telling you guys, it was a thing. Dumbasses thought that Dungeons and Dragons was a satanic game that caused young people to want to kill other people. Yeah, I'll wait for your response. Stupid. They also thought He-Man was satanic. I'm trying to think of who all they thought would. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh my God, the Smurfs. Like, what? What is wrong with people? Okay, so anyway, in the 80s, there was the weird religious movement. I don't know why. People who don't understand things, who are scared of things, instead of trying to understand them, just rally against them. That must be part of the American way, because it hasn't changed to this day. And it is so extremely frustrating. I cannot believe it. But yes, the Satanic Panic was a real thing. And it was stupid. And there were book burnings, record burnings, you name it. I'm just saying, Christianity, you guys, like, I'm not going to say you're all nutty. You're a little nutty. Just saying. The fact, okay, you know what? I just want to bring something up. And no one else brings this up. So, well, that's not true. I'm sure tons of people have brought this up. Now, I don't mean to offend anybody who's religious. So if you are truly faithful and religious, I am sorry if what I'm going to say is going to offend you, but this is legitimately something I don't understand. Satanic panic. Okay, first of all, Satan, part of your friggin' religious umbrella. Not in my religious umbrella. I don't have a religion, but doesn't exist. That's a Christian concept there, people. So, but yet you have a Messiah who was raised from the dead. Last time I checked, if you come back from the dead, there's one word that describes you. Zombie. So somehow, people who played Dungeons and Dragons, a role-playing game with character sheets, pencil and paper and dice, were somehow crazier than people who worship a zombie. I'm just saying, that's a little nutty. Now, taking out the zombie aspect and everything else, if you are a person of faith, and that is something you believe in, and you've taken a leap of faith and it's affected your life in a positive manner, and you can treat all people, every single person, with dignity and respect, with equality, with love, then I'm on board. But I'm just saying, in America in 2022, that is not the norm for the Christian umbrella. And you can fight me in the comments. I will turn them off. I don't really care. That's where we're at. Because I'm tired in 2022 of fear-mongering. I'm tired of fear being the impetus for action because it never goes anywhere good, right? So let's clean that up, people. Let's clean it up. Let's go back to 1984, reset the course of history, and fix things with love. Because you know what? No better time to mention, it's June. It is the month of pride. Gay it up, people. Gay it up. We say gay, we pray the gay stay. You know where I'm going with this? Love. Just picture a huge rainbow. And it's spinning and there's unicorns and there's just hearts. Happy Pride Month. I love you all. Okay, so Happy Pride Month, moving on. 1984, Molly Ringwald. I am going to, for you guys, there'll be a little bit of a snap and then I'll reappear. For me, I'm going to take a break because in true 80s fashion, my husband has made, well, they're vegan, pizza rolls, you guys. I'm going to have pizza rolls. I'm going to grab a project. Maybe I will update this look. Maybe we'll go into a different era of the 80s. Now, it is almost 1 o'clock. I do have a Zoom cast on party at 2, so we're going to need to fly through this mother trucker. Okay. I'm back. Second look is a little bit inspired by Madonna. Kind of. I only had like 5 minutes, guys. I'm on a time crunch. So this is what you're getting. I hope you enjoy. All right, so this episode's probably totally out of order, and it's probably time for the disclaimer. You guys, there are 6 bunnies behind me. We have Orwell, who is passed out nose first. Nano, who's showing you her tuchus. And then Harvey is eating hay in the box. So here's the deal. All 3 of them geriatric. All 3 of them do not care about the litter box anymore. So it doesn't look so bad right now, but it has been Puocalypse? Yeah, that. And we had to take Orwell to the vet because he started to get head tilt. Now, Harvey has full-blown head tilt, but he's been treated for E. caniculi. It's just a permanent condition that he's fine with. Orwell has developed some type of ear, we're hoping infection and nothing greater than an infection in his left eardrum. So he ticks to the right. And the medicine that we have to give him, he's on 4 different medicines. One of them makes him really tired, but he's eating like a champ. He's actually upright as opposed to sideways. So things are looking good there. Very scary when you have older bunnies. So this would be a good time to tell all of my viewers. The 3 that are behind us probably will not be behind us for long term. And in knowing that, I like to celebrate them every podcast because right now, the time that I have with them is time that I never thought I would get with them. So there's that. And then in the stack, you can really only see one ear who's sacked out. That's Lebo right there, but I don't think you can really tell what he's doing, but he's asleep. And then his mom, Harriet, is kind of off camera. She's eating. This is kind of their downtime, so they're kind of quiet right now, which is probably for the best. But just in case you see anything weird behind me, as if this wasn't weird enough, that's what's going on back there. The other thing totally out of order, you guys, it's Chiefless Needles. We need to be drinking. I will be having a Trotwood lager with real lime juice. I don't have my glasses on. Now, here's the deal. It's still 1984, people, and what I need you to picture as I pour this fine beverage this is not a beer, you guys. This is Bartles and James wine cooler. Come on. Better yet, if it was clear, it'd be a Zima.
We have selected a bottle for our new premium wine cooler, and we were about to print up a label when Ed called to my attention the fact that we did not yet have a name for our product. But we decided just to call it the Bartles and James wine cooler, because my last name is Bartles and Ed's is James.
All foam. Just all foam. We're going to wait for that to calm down. All right. So anyway, you guys, in this segment of 1984, we're going to talk about what we're knitting on because this is, after all, a knitting podcast. So, update. I have been working on this swatch, and this is ridiculous looking, right? Yeah, no, I know it is. But you know what Shannon's been practicing? Continental knitting with my left hand. Okay, so this is all continental. I am learning my tension is shit. I cannot, for whatever reason, give me tips in the comments if you are a continental knitter, how you hold your yarn in your fingers. I've wrapped around my pinky twice, come up around the top. I've wrapped around once. I've skipped the pinky, come here. I cannot get the tension to hold. I get super loose, then I have to drop everything and rewind it on my hand. And that is super frustrating because it's just, I gave it a couple days, it's still not getting better. So tips, please, comments. So I'm working on my continental knitting so that when I start my witching hour right here, project, I will be doing two-handed color work, obviously left hand, right hand with separate colors. And I wanted to make sure that my continental knitting was up to par before I attempted that so that whatever I'm holding dominant color in my left hand will not be loosey-goosey. Work in progress, will report back. Right now, you guys, it's like D. I'm at a level D. I would like to be at a C+ or B- the next time we talk. I'm not going to kid you and think I'm going to be at an A level. We're shooting for it, but I'm just saying I need your help. Update on that. Okay, other update. This is an ASMR episode of zippers and beer polling. Beer polling? What? Beer pouring. I am a Looney Tunes. Okay, you guys. Do you recognize this black mass of nothing? It's my sweater. Okay, so I was here. Progress keeper. Gotcha. Right there. So I've, what, knit like 2 inches? 2 inches. So this is my Painting Honeycomb sweater. Kind of matches my eyeshadow. There's blue and orange. This is by Stephen West. I don't know when I'll get it done. I'm on the body. I'm just knitting on this when I feel like it. Listen, there's no timeline. It's just, you know, progress. So not much to show. I'm just knitting on the body. Maybe the next time I'll show it to you, I'll be on the sleeves. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be dedicating this month, though. I'm going to try to be a monogamous knitter. I'm not committing. I'm just saying I'm trying. And what I'm really working on is my simple summer tee, summer slip tee. Shit. Okay. I cast this on. Hold on. It's beverage time. I cast this on June 1st. I'm just saying that's questionable. I just forgot about the lime, I think. Okay, so I cast on, like I've repeated myself 22 times, June 1st. So I've only got like, I think I've done like 20 rounds here. Not much to show you. There we go. It's rolling up. And when okay, I did a gauge swatch on this. Okay. This is by Knititude. Chantel Miyagishima, maybe? Did the pattern. I love it. I am actually using the yarn that is recommended in the pattern, which is honestly, I think a first for me. I don't think I've ever done that. So this is Lion Brand True Boo. And yeah, there you go. True Boo Sparkle, excuse me. You better know that this summer slip tee in True Boo Sparkle is my pattern for the Totally Tubular knit along coming out of Ravelry groups of vegan knitters and crocheters. We will be doing this for 4 to 8 weeks. I don't know. I may go past 8 weeks, but it's 80s pattern inspired. You pick it, you do it. It can be something you wear, something for, it doesn't matter. 80s inspired. So this little number in the picture is going to be an off-the-shoulder homage to the one and only, of course, who we've already talked about, Molly Ringwald. And okay, so here's the deal. The pattern says to use US7 needles, and I forget what the gauge they call out is, but it's after you block. This yarn grows like a stinky potato. I cannot even tell you. So when I did my swatch, in fact, wait, you know what? I may have them. For once, am I prepared for anything? Oh my God, I might be. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. Hello. This was the US7. It is crazy. It is a loosey-goosey fabric, and I believe you're supposed to have 21 stitches and 4 inches. I have 16. Moving on. Then this is the US5. And this is what I settled on. Now, here's the deal. I was originally going to do a US6 and knit the small. And then when I did the US5 and I bathed my swatch, I ended up at 1 stitch over what I was supposed to be. I was like, okay, I think what I'm going to, so I had 22 stitches. I am going to knit the medium as a result of that. And that way I can ensure that this puppy will come off my shoulder. Because my big concern was if I went with the small and I was already tight on gauge or over on gauge, that the fit would be not what I wanted. we're going to experiment. So here's what I'm going to tell you about this pattern. You guys have got to do your swatches, especially if you're using Trubu, because it is totally different after you wash it. Because this guy, before I washed it, was at 24 stitches. After I washed it, it dropped to 21, 22. Yeah, it lost 2 stitches. So I am doing this on a US5 as a result. So I did find one other person. I didn't go through all the pattern notes on Ravelry, but there was one other person who was like, yeah, I immediately had to go down in needle size twice. She ended up on a US5 as well. I can't remember what size she knitted. But again, always check project notes. They will help you. But again, I've talked about it before. We know I don't like swatching, you guys. It's like time you cannot get back, right? However, man, I'm just not ready for that lime every time. Every time it hits me, I'm just not ready. Can you see the fear in my eyes? Because had I not done the swatches, it would have been a disaster when I finished the project and actually blocked it. So this is the beginnings. We are having a cast on party in less than 45 minutes for this. I wanted to make sure that when we did the cast on party that I had already got it on the needles so that I was not trying to count. I forget how many stitches it is, like 180 something. 196, 186, 176, 176, I think. I'm doing the medium. It was 176 stitches to cast on. And there's no way I can be on a Zoom call and count those stitches and not lose my mind. Because the other thing, while I love this yarn because I've used it before, you guys, it is splitty, mixed splitty. And hang on, let me just read a little bit off the label here. Okay, so there's 195 yards in each ball. It's an 85 gram ball, by the way, not 100. So it's a 3-weight, and it's 96% rayon from bamboo and 4% polyester. And they, on this, are calling out 23 stitches with a US6. I buy that because I got 22 with a US5. Yeah, I buy that. So anyway, the instrucciones are machine wash, lay flat to dry. And this is the colorway Thunder. And it is still available. And you can get Trubu with sparkle or without sparkle. And I'm not sure why I was just talking about this because I have totally lost my train of thought. Woohoo! So anyway, that is the Totally Tubular 80s cast on that I am doing for the most fun make-along ever. So, you guys, those are my projects. I need to take a drink of beer. So, here's the deal. We're going to have, I think, 2 more. By we, I mean me. I'm going to have 2 more podcasts before the knit along is over. So one will be in the middle and one will be actually the finish of my project. And I'm going to try to do different 80s makeup looks. So today what you saw was a Molly Ringwald inspired look. This was supposed to be a Madonna inspired look that literally I went upstairs, ate a pizza roll and tried to do it. So, oh, hi buddy, what are you doing? Are you just running around? Oh, Harv, I love you. Yes, you're a good old bunny. Go check on your brother. Yep, he's right there. God, you guys, what was I even talking about? See, I get so distracted so easily. So anyway, inspired by Madonna. In the next podcast, I think what I'm going to do, I may try to find some old photos and recreate them of me during the 80s. And man, my look in the 80s, you got to remember, like 1980 to 1989. How old would I? Let me think about this. So I would have been 9 years old all the way to 18, essentially. So I went from someone who never wore any makeup, and you'll see in the photos, the visage that you see before you is not the visage you will see in the 80s. I was such an awkward, gawky, nerdy kid that did not understand anything about trends or popularity. And you will see the photographic evidence if I find yearbook photos. But then a lot of things started happening where I was coming into adulthood and making my own opinions about politics, about the world. And a lot of it starts to weigh pretty heavy. And you'll visually see the transition of little Shannon to adult Shannon, who is really not that different, maybe not as garish as this. Then some would say it was more garish. I would not. However, there will be a journey. So stay tuned. And if you would like to share photos, somehow we got to be able to do that. You can't share photos in YouTube comments. Dude, if you've got some great photos that you want me to put on the podcast, and if you want me to like black out the face or a name, send them to Shannon at sheeplessneedles.com. Listen, don't be sending me porn. I don't want anything inappropriate. I'm cutting that off at the knees. I'm on to you. So anyway, and then we could have like a little reel of like 80s, what people really looked like in the 80s. Because the thing that really cracked me up when I went to do the makeup for today, it was a lot like, I was like, oh, Molly Ringwald's makeup in the 80s. And it was all these like young millennials or Gen Zers recreating 80s looks. I was like, that's not how we did it. It is inspired for sure, but it's just not exactly right. Like the thing about the 80s, and I think this is what I remember. All right, so this would be Midwestern United States 1980s makeup. Okay, first of all, it was a lot of powder. People really were not using, at least people I knew, liquid foundation. And if they were, it was CoverGirl. And it was this thick, stinky foundation that turned orange on everybody. Like, I don't care what your skin level tone was, you were turning orange. And forget like having a palette of colors for every skin tone, because that shit didn't exist. You were just orange. Oompa Loompa orange. And so lots of powder. And then the blush, I tried to do it, but blush doesn't read very well on my camera. It was like this hardcore stripe that went from like between your temple and your ear all the way down your friggin' cheek. And it wasn't like on your cheekbone, it was behind it. It's kind of like, and then it kind of curved over. So it was this big, like hand-sized thing of like dusty rose powder blush. Ugh. And then I'm trying to think, a lot of like, there wasn't a lot going on top of the lids, but everybody did this underneath eyeliner, like just this like disconnected round, and there were no wings going on unless you were culture clubbing it, but that wouldn't have been with eyeliner, it would have been with eyeshadow. So anyway, I'm not even sure why I was talking about that 80s inspired makeup, but yeah, so looking at the photos of like what younger people think that the 80s were, it's really fascinating to me what they've grabbed onto and kind of run with. So I do like seeing how people take some really tacky things from the 80s and actually make them more modern and more palatable. I think I love that. And I think any experimentation with makeup is so much fun. It can be so creative. I feel like I have 20 tons of powder on my face right now because there was no shine going on in the 80s either. It was like you were just powdered. And let me tell you, when you got up to somebody, like close up, powder, like powder. Yeah, lots of powder, lots of rave hairspray. And this would be early to mid 80s. Late 80s is kind of when mid to late 80s is when I kind of, everything went, I dressed in all black, but like it went more what people would consider to be goth now. But at the time, I don't even think we used the term goth back then. Like you were alternative. I don't know how to explain that. The verbiage that is used today did not really exist back then. Maybe a little bit of it did, but like you were either like, there were scum punks. I mean, like, it's like the lingo is totally different. And I'm sure the lingo we used was not politically correct. So I probably shouldn't even be saying it, but I don't know. Anyway, we will go on a journey. So this is the early to mid 80s. Next podcast, we'll do mid to late 80s. And I will pull out some yearbook photos. That'll be the next podcast. The final podcast for the 80s series, I'm going to go backwards to Molly Ringwald and try to recreate a look using my knit along. I'm hoping it works because I'm not using a dark blue. I'm using a lighter gray because I couldn't find Trubu in the right color. So listen, we're just going to go. You're going to have to imagine it. And I know if you're watching this, you're creative and you can imagine it. So, okay, I'm going to, what time is it? Okay, I have a half an hour. So quickly, I want to show you something that came in the mail that I'm very excited about. Now, I joined Busy Peach or BZY Peach's Yarn Club. I don't have this month's yet. It just mailed. There is a yarn club from Terrapin Fibers, but I don't think it's a club like you join that she auto ships. It's just every month there's new club yarns, and then you go onto her website and you pick what you want and you buy it, right? So this isn't an auto ship kind of situation. So you don't have to join at the beginning of the year. You can get this, you can do this right now. So anyway, this is, hang on, I'm going to have to put on the spectacles because I am having trouble seeing anything. Does it tell me what month this was? What month is it? Okay, this would have been the May. So let's start here. I'll show you the stitch markers, which are super cute. Okay. Oh. Can you, stop flipping around. Oh, come on. I don't know if you can tell that, that's a sprig of something, and this is a something. Hold on, this will make more sense. Lavender. All right, this lighting is so bad today. Hopefully Steve color corrects and this doesn't look so bad. But again, let me show you her cute, these are new tags too, by the way. Terrapin Fiberworks. And this is Lavender. It is her Chesapeake fingering base. It's 100% organic cotton. It's 437 yards and 100 grams. Lavender. I love it. It's beautiful. And it's even more beautiful when you put it up against this, which is Bouquet. So hold on. Look at that, you guys. Now listen, we know that I love my dark clothing, but I am a sucker for this kind of stuff. It came with a sachet with a little turtle. And it smells so good, you guys, lavender. So anyway, that came in the mail. Now, I have a growing collection of Chesapeake fingering base from her. And I think what I'm going to do at the end, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold out. I'm trying to wait until the end of the year to come up with a project for next year to use her yarns. But listen, there's a mystery knit along coming up, and in October, the Stephen West one. If it's fingering weight, I may use her yarns. We'll have to wait and see what he calls for, but I'm very excited for that. So that was stuff that came in the mail. And then literature for your knitature, you guys. I am still reading the third book in Robin Hobb's series, the Farseer trilogy. I am now on the Assassin's Quest. It's going, I don't have the book down here. It's upstairs because I was reading it. I am probably 1/3 of the way through. It's a longer one. It's still really good. I'm really enjoying it. For those people who are sensitive to animal issues, I'm still doing fine. So you'll be okay. Because as my husband tells me, I am probably one of the most sensitive people to animals in media, whether that be reading, whether it be TV, movies, animation. I have serious issues. So I'm okay. So if I'm okay, I feel safe in saying you should be okay. Yeah. So you guys, that's what I got for you. 1980s, you guys. Come on, join up. Now, listen, I know my last podcast I filmed over a weekend. I think I released it on either a Monday, like a Monday night or a Tuesday morning. A lot of events happened after that podcast, quickly after that podcast. And it's been a really tough time in this country. So if you are international, I am in the United States. We are having, it's not even a surprise. We had yet another mass shooting where innocent people lost their lives. And we are dealing with politicians and representatives who do not represent their constituency. They don't care what we think. And voting's super important, you guys. Vote locally when you can. Obviously, vote nationally, like whatever. But man, if people are not following what you want to see happen, stop voting for them. Like, I don't know how these asshats got their seats to begin with. I don't even understand like the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, how the hell that happened. I mean, are people that stupid? Are they that hateful? Are they that dumb that they allow someone like that in that position? I don't get it. And I really don't want to concentrate a lot on political issues on this podcast. But I also want to make sure that people understand that this podcast, I created it to be a respite from the outside world where we could get a break from some of the crap that's going on. But honestly, guys, sometimes that crap you can't avoid. And sometimes we need to confront issues head on. And, I don't really give a shit what anyone's opinion about gun ownership is. I don't support the death of innocent people by people carrying firearms that they shouldn't even be. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that has this problem. The only country. People are scared to come here because they're scared they're going to get shot. That's ridiculous. I don't understand it. And I'm sure all of you who are watching feel the same way. There's no sense to be made of it because it's a nonsensical thing. But we need to change, and we need to change this. And the thing that is surprising to me is when I started looking back at the 80s and looking at some of the issues, this is all cyclical. None of this is going away. It's always the far right creating demons that don't exist. Like, I don't know what you're protecting yourself from, Second Amendment people. You don't need a semi-automatic rifle for sport. Sorry, you just don't. You don't need that to protect your home. It's such a stupid thing, but only in America. I'm tired and I'm sad. And my heart goes out to anybody who's affected by this issue. And, there's no words. There's no words to say to someone. There are just no words other than that my heart is open for you. I will help however I can help. And I will put links in the show notes. There's a couple really great groups to get information from about violence in this country, about how you can help. We got to make the world a better place, and it starts with us. So again, it's going to go back to something I said earlier in the other look. It's about love. It's about not letting fear make decisions for you. You got to go into the unknown. You can't just do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. It's never going to change. Sometimes we have to do things that make us uncomfortable. Sometimes we have to say, I don't know. I don't have the answer. But just because I don't have the answer doesn't mean I'm not willing to try to help them find one. But sitting back and doing nothing is what got us here. Complacency gets you nowhere. In fact, I would argue it's such a backwards. So let's move forward. Let's change things. You know, let your light and love out in the world and share it with everyone. You know, let a little old lady cut in front of you in the grocery store line. Let somebody cut you off in traffic. Who the frigging, it doesn't matter. Do you know the chances of being alive right now? We are on a spinning planet that is catapulting through space, and you are alive on that planet. That's insane. It even sounds insane. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Fill it with light and love and education and acceptance and equality and all those really great things. And by the way, if you're watching this, I already know you feel that way. I'm just preaching to the choir. But I just feel like sometimes I need to say it because I need to know that I'm not being complacent. So anyway, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for sitting down and hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks. Please take care of yourself. In these times, you've got to take time to take care of yourself. You cannot help anybody else if you're not helping yourself. So take care of yourself, love one another, help somebody out. Help a stranger. Dude, just help. See you in 2 weeks. Hey guys, it's me. It's future Shannon. Sans 80s makeup. My skin can breathe. I know you are all really concerned, but let me just tell you something. The freshness. It's like the fresh maker. I forgot something really important during the podcast, and that was inviting everyone to the knit along, which was the whole point of the podcast, which I lost the point of, as I usually do. So anyway, the Totally Tubular 80s knit along. This is birthing out of the Ravelry group, Vegan Knitters and Crocheters. It doesn't matter if you're in the group or not. You can join this knit along. I'm on Instagram. You just look me up, Sheepless Needles. There's a hashtag for this knit along. It is ouch Maggie. No, that's not the hashtag. Sorry, Maggie was grabbing my leg. The hashtag is hashtag Totally Tubular VKAL. That is Totally Tubular VKAL. And for those who know, that means Totally Tubular Vegan Knit Along. So you hashtag the heck out of that. You join the knit along. You knit whatever 80s inspired thing you want. Hit us up. Come on. Let's bring the 80s back to the glory that they were. Except for the drowning in makeup where your skin can't breathe. So my skin is happy. I am happy. I hope you are happy. And I will see you guys soon.